Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I've got here with me Shamit Manilal, and if you do not know who he is and his background story, make sure to check my previous video about Shamit. He gave us a very insightful interview of his childhood and what did he do, what did he study, and now we're going to get into a lot more detail about his life and what he currently does. So this video, I've got a cheat sheet here with me with some questions that I would like to ask him. So it's a bit more, you know, the video is flowing with nice and easy questions.
Nice.
Now, okay, so my first question is that what does entrepreneurship mean for you? Let's establish that first.
Oh my God. Should have seen those questions before, isn't it?
You should have.
I know, absolutely. So entrepreneurship for me, I think is it's about innovation, taking a risk, be yourself, putting yourself out there, and going for what you like, or what you enjoy, and what your dreams are.
Okay, and because yourself comes from an entrepreneurship background, I understand that, and of course knowing you being my husband, that your family had a supermarket in Maputo, Mozambique,
Yeah.
so you've been working there. So being from an entrepreneurship background, do you think that contributed towards you wanting to be an entrepreneur?
I think so. It's a mixed feeling, and you never realize it, but I think it was always there. I used to go to the shop when I was young, and I used to enjoy being in the shop, and you see how things work and how the business works, and I think when you're part of it and you learn a number of different things, that it probably embeds in yourself. I don't know, but I think I have that feeling. So
it helps you. So, which leads me to the other question: is that does it give you skills? You know, being from a young age and working in the supermarkets, what kind of skills do you develop?
A number of different skills. I think one of the big skills that you develop is how to actually deal with the customer. It's a customer service, how to treat the customer. The customer's always right when there are problems there.
That's a very fair point, actually.
Yeah, because you're young there. There are issues all the time. I was there sitting and doing my homework while I was there, and then after that, in the afternoon, I would just go and help in the shop. Someone would come and serve the people, and you just have to mingle with people and create that relationship. And a lot of people know me there, and my brother obviously, from very young age, because they saw us growing up.
Okay, and okay, so now you are an entrepreneur, you do have a business, but before we get there, which point of your life did you realise that you want to be an entrepreneur?
Oh wow, I think I always had that in me. I never quite realised it until I was in UK after I finished, after I started working after the university, after I started working, because I always thought, well, because my parents had the shop, which is different from actually working in an office environment. I'd never worked in an office environment, so I did the university and started working in an office environment. And once I started working there, I actually started to get that feeling back, and I was like, this is not what I want to do. I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed all my jobs, and don't take me wrong, but after some time I was like, this eagerness started to come out of me, and it's like, well, I want to do something. I've got so many dreams, I've got so many ideas, I just want to go and work on this.
I can testify for that. He is a continuous generator of ideas. From the moment he's going to have breakfast, the way you eat breakfast, he's going to be coming with ideas. Some of them, they're great, but quite a lot of them.
What are you talking about? Amazing.
But it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? He just comes with a lot of ideas. Okay, so my question now is that, okay, so if you can tell us, since I did ask you about which point you realised, if you can tell us a bit, what do you do now?
Oh, what do I do now? So I run a consultancy and a services company called LearnX. We focus on the education sector, so we help on how to improve teaching and learning using technology.
Sounds very good.
He's excited.
And I know that there's something very, very interesting in the pipeline coming out. You are giving birth to a product.
Yeah, it's a product called LearnX. It's a business intelligence tool that will pluck in a number of data, so geeky for some people, I guess, but it's what's happening these days. We're going to use AI to pull out a number of different information about how students learn, how teachers are teaching, and how we can make improvements to the way education works.
Wow, it sounds fascinating, regardless of how many times I've been listening about it and knowing about it. Every time I hear about it, I'm like, wow. Very good.
At least you appreciate it.
At least I appreciate it. Okay, so LearnX, Linsight, and the question is, building all this, it needs a lot of money. It doesn't happen just like that. So you may have the idea, but it doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be able to make the idea happen. So if you can give us and give to the people that may be watching practical tips that they want to start their own business, but the money, it's an issue.
The money is always an issue. I think the money is always going to be an issue depending on what you want to do. Your dream is always going to be bigger than your pocket, I guess, but it's not about the pocket, it's about what you want to do. And if you're really going for it, if you really feel this is the right way, then this is what's going to make a difference, then I think you should go for it. And for us, it was tough, and it's still tough. It will be tough for the initial years of the business, and I guess if you're a business, like the way we run our business is we always want to grow and continue to grow, so you always have to still continue to invest.
Yeah.
Which means the money will always. It doesn't matter how much more you make, the more you're going to need to try to counterpart. We started with the lump sum there that we saved together.
Yes.
For a very long time, and a lot of hard work, and I've shredded quite a lot of my skin tissues.
Okay, so would you say that that you've taken a calculated risk?
It's a risk. You can calculate as much as you want. There is no guarantee of anything. In anything as well. And then I think there was some calculation. It's like, well, what if it's going to go wrong? But there's no guarantee on anything. Indeed. Even if it really goes completely wrong, and all your plans B's and C's or D's may not work either. So then you can be in a complete mess. But that's the risk you take, and whoever wants to be an entrepreneur has to take that risk.
Yeah. So there's nothing that you can say is called calculated risk or low risk or high risk.
Well, there is the high risk and low risk, but at the end of the day, it's a risk, and even the low one can become a high one. Okay. So it always changes. You have to just keep evaluating it as you go.
Do you remember the moment you decided to take that leap of faith and starting LearnX or somehow starting Linsight, all these things that you're doing? Do you remember the moment you decided it?
I don't think it was a moment per se. It was like I always had this eagerness inside me that I wanted to do something. I actually found the idea, I thought about it, and I was like, I just want to go for it. I think there was a couple moments like that, and then I said, now I'm going to stop this, and I'm trying to go. I remember the moment. You do remember? I think your mum probably went quite a few moments.
So it's when you were working somewhere and you came back and you had this idea, and we've been discussing about it, and we were having dinner. And I said to you that by all means you should take it. It's now or never, because I'm a frank believer that there is always moments in our lives. There's always opportunities that they come right in front of you. If you don't take that moment, it will just disappear.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And your support has always been helpful, actually.
It's not just about the support, but it's your willingness to go for it. Because I may be speaking from a safe note, you know what I mean, just go and do it. But it's the person who takes that risk at the end of the day. It's a personal.
But being together. You're part of the risk, isn't it?
Okay, but we're not here about us. I'm here about interviewing you and for you to give us about the business and all that.
There is a risk, so still go for it if you really want to go for it.
Just do it.
It's amazing. The feeling's amazing.
Adrenaline, yeah. Okay, now. There are days, and I know that it is overwhelming. There is a lot of things happening. Maybe there's a lot of decisions that needs to be taken. How are you coping with those days?
Oh my God, there are tough days. There are a lot of pressure. There's a number of things that come across. You just have to find ways to go and relax, go for a walk, go for a tea, or or just trying to like disconnect, to go for or do some sort of exercises. As you know, I was doing insanity, squash, not so much squash unfortunately, but then just to release some of the tension and the pressure, and then
release,
and then carry on and power through it.
Brilliant. Okay, so with the business, I know that you're able to detect and understand a lot more about your weaknesses. Through your weaknesses, because what your weaknesses are, that means you're going to have to recruit people to somehow fulfill that gap for you. So having a business, have you been able to identify those weaknesses?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you learn as you go. There are a number of things. When your first business, when you start, you think, oh my God, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. And then there are a number of things like marketing and stuff. I know it's not my forte, so I just go in and hire people to do it, or development. So you just have to compensate for it.
Indeed.
You need to bring the people. Everyone's got their skills. Everyone's got their fortes, and you go and then you.
And I think it's a talent as well to be able to identify your weaknesses and say that this is how far I can go. We need people, because there is no such thing as running a business just by yourself.
Oh no, my God!
It's not.
Well, if you want to grow it, Otherwise, you're a one-man band.
Yeah, indeed, yes, indeed. Okay. My other question is that, do you feel at this point that you would like to return back to working for someone?
No.
That's a very honest answer. Okay. Do you have any insight for us as to what future beholds for LearnX?
There's a number of things that we're working on. A lot of stuff in the pipeline. I think we'll have to watch and see. We're moving towards the product side now. The consultancy side will continue to be there. I think the product will actually complement the consultancy side. So there's a lot of stuff coming up in the pipeline. I think it's bright.
It looks good, isn't it?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It looks really good. Okay, and somehow coming to an end, coming towards the end of this video, how would you describe your journey between wanting to become an entrepreneur and being an entrepreneur?
Oh my God, ups and downs, crazy, adrenaline days, bad days, sad days, crazy days, happy days.
Everything.
Everything. It's just like emotions all over the place, but it's like I never felt more alive than I am now in terms of like running the business and how the life is going as well. Even on the bad days, it's just like it's part of life. You have to go through some of those bad times to actually get to the good times, and you learn from that to actually avoid some of those mistakes or avoid some of the pitfalls that can come.
Indeed. And for those that they want to have their own business, they want to be an entrepreneur, what would be your advice? I
think it's just believe in yourself and go for it. Just put your efforts and go for it. You have to be ready to put effort. You have to be ready to put the time, the effort, and your soul to it. But if you really believe in what you do and what you want to do and you think is the right way, and if you're going to make a difference, then by all means go for it. And
I know that this advice it's something that we do hear quite a lot, but it's so true that at the end of the day, it's just putting your soul into the business. It is somehow an extension of who you are.
And every person is different.
Indeed.
The business is an extension of who you are, so you have to adapt it to yourself. You can read a number of books, you can listen to a number of people talk, you can listen to me talking, but your example will be different from mine, so you have to go in and do it yourself and try yourself. It'll be some stuff that will go similar to my experiences, some will be very different, and every experience is very different from each other. I remember listening to other people, but for me it's completely different.
And my final question is, you said that you've been listening to lots of people. Would you say that reading books, because you've been reading a lot lately, and I've seen the books keep on coming in this house. As you can see, we've got this massive library here, so books, it's always something we do have around. Do you think reading, it does help?
Reading does help as a person itself. It helps you broaden your horizons, think about different things, makes you understand it. You won't know every single bit, and there are a number of life lessons that you can learn from there as well. So it definitely helps. There's knowledge in the books, and you learn from those knowledges.
What I'm going to take from this interview is that if you want to do something, you can do it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Come on.
And
I'm excited.
I'm excited as well.
Tell us about your businesses. If you're going for it, if your ideas or anything, tell us about it. And then if you need some more help or time and you want to speak to
Or if you're
just
going
about
some struggles that you want to share
Yeah.
about it, you know, just leave a comment down below. Let us know. We would love to hear from you. But most importantly, make sure you do subscribe to this YouTube channel for weekly videos. Yes. And I'm going to see you in the next video. I hope you did enjoy it. Give us a thumbs up. And I love you. Take care. Stay positive. Peace. And I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.